Hello and good day. Welcome to our video channel, God's Promises. And today's video will be a fast, concise overview, Book of 2 Kings, chapter 19. Let's get started now. The 19th chapter of the second book of Kings is one of the most powerful and dramatic chapters in the entire Old Testament. The story centers around King Hezekiah of Judah and the siege of Jerusalem by the Assyrian army under the command of Sennacherib. The events described in this chapter demonstrate the power of faith and prayer, and how God can intervene in the most dire of circumstances to save his people. The chapter begins with Sennacherib sending a threatening letter to Hezekiah, in which he boasts of his victories over other nations and warns the king not to think that God will save him and his people from the Assyrian army. Hezekiah takes the letter to the temple and spreads it out before the Lord, praying for deliverance and reminding God of his covenant with the people of Israel. God responds to Hezekiah's prayer through the prophet Isaiah, who delivers a message of reassurance and hope. Isaiah tells Hezekiah that God will put a spirit in Sennacherib's heart that will cause him to turn back and return to his own land, where he will be killed by his own sons. Meanwhile, Sennacherib sends his army to Jerusalem and sets up camp outside the city. Hezekiah and his officials decide to cut off the water supply to the city and store up food in preparation for a long siege. However, Sennacherib sends a message to Hezekiah, taunting him and urging him to surrender. Hezekiah again turns to God in prayer, asking for deliverance from the Assyrians. God responds by sending an angel to destroy the Assyrian army, killing 185,000 soldiers in a single night. When Sennacherib wakes up in the morning and sees his army destroyed, he returns to his own land and is killed by his own sons, just as Isaiah had prophesied. The story of Hezekiah and the siege of Jerusalem teaches several important lessons for Christians today. First, it demonstrates the power of prayer and faith in God. Hezekiah could have surrendered to Sennacherib, or relied on his own resources to defend Jerusalem, but instead he turned to God and trusted in his promise of deliverance. Second, the story shows that God is faithful to his promises and will deliver his people from their enemies. Despite the overwhelming force of the Assyrian army, God intervened and saved his people from certain destruction. Finally, the story emphasizes the importance of obedience to God. Hezekiah was a faithful king who sought to do what was right in the eyes of the Lord, and God blessed him and his people as a result. In summary, the 19th chapter of 2 Kings is a powerful testimony to the faithfulness of God and the power of prayer. It shows that God can intervene in the most dire of circumstances to save his people, and that those who trust in him and obey his commands will be blessed. The story of Hezekiah and the siege of Jerusalem is an inspiring example of what God can do when his people turn to him in faith and obedience. Thank you for visiting us today. Please share with us your favorite Bible chapter below in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help our channel grow. Looking forward to see you back here for our next video. Always take good care.